has changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look. Dinosaurs and man, two species separated by 65 million years of evolution, have just been suddenly thrown back into the mix together. How can we possibly have the slightest idea of what to expect?
Jurassic Park's velociraptors are ruthless. Their intelligence allows them to achieve great feats other animals cannot. The velociraptors are a fast-learning bunch, figuring out how to open doors and navigate human facilities with ease. Despite Grant assuring us that the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are animals, the same cannot be said for the velociraptors. They go out of their way to hunt down humans, allowing nothing to get in their way. Is there a reason for why they do what they do? Or is it just blind rage? In The Lost World, the velociraptors are again shown to be just ruthless monsters, hunting down the humans. Things change, however, once we get to Jurassic Park 3. And where does Jurassic World take this narrative thread? And how does it end? The relationship between the velociraptors and humans is an overarching story that plays out across all 6 films. And although characters and the individual raptors change, the themes and the narrative being told continues. So, without further ado, let's dive into the overarching narrative of Jurassic Park's velociraptors and their relationship with man. To fully understand the velociraptors, one must understand the shortcomings of John Hammond's Jurassic Park, and that is despite all the electric fencing, concrete moats, and top-of-the-art scientific knowledge and equipment, Jurassic Park doesn't know how to look after its dinosaurs. This is made clear throughout the movie, from a sick Triceratops to a Brachiosaurus with a cold, and even suppressing 65 million years of the T-Rex's gut instinct to hunt. But the most egregious example is how the velociraptors are treated. We learn that the velociraptors used to be kept in a paddock of their own, but had to be moved because they would continue to attack the electric fences. So out of fear that the raptors would escape, and not wanting them to be destroyed, as Muldoon would suggest, Hammond had the velociraptors moved to a less than comfortable, high security confinement, where they would be fed by a crane. We see at the beginning of the movie, during the process of changing the velociraptor's enclosure, something goes terribly wrong. One of the velociraptors attempts to escape, and in the process it attacks a park worker. In an attempt to save the park worker's life, Muldoon orders for the shooting of the animal. Unfortunately for the park worker, help arrives too late, and as the scene fades out, you can hear 3 gunshots. I think it is safe to assume that the raptor is dead. Going back to the velociraptor's original enclosure, we actually get a glimpse of this on screen, and that's when Grant stumbles upon some broken eggs. And those eggs belong to the velociraptors. And we know that they are velociraptor eggs because the footprints left behind by the hatchlings are identical to the adult velociraptors. If Hammond and all the experts he hired actually knew what they were doing and had the old raptor paddock inspected, they would have came across the eggs and would have learned a lot earlier that the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are not actually all female, and that the measures put in place to prevent breeding had failed, and that's why the big one killed the other velociraptors, for mating rights. With all this information, we get a clearer picture of why the velociraptors behave the way they do. So let's recap. In an attempt to control the velociraptors, they are moved out of their original enclosure out of fear they'll escape, and are put into a small confined box. In the process, they are not only separated from their young, but one of their pack members is shot. I believe this explains why the raptors in Jurassic Park go out of their way to hunt humans. They do it for revenge. The Velociraptors are on a revenge rampage. They go out of their way to hunt down humans, to the point they take glee in doing so. InGen brought back extinct animals, but through their mistakes they inadvertently created monsters. The relationship that the Velociraptors and humans share is now firmly established. What starts out with the authority and control of the humans being challenged by the raptors ends with a clear and better rivalry between the two species. The Lost World Jurassic Park picks up from where its predecessor left off. However, what it does is limited. With that said, we can still look at what it presents. The Lost World reinforces the rivalry between man and raptor. How the Velociraptors see the humans wouldn't be much different from the Velociraptors in the first movie, and it's safe to say that they were treated by the humans in a similar fashion. After the humans had left Sorna, and all the architecture along with it, the raptors moved in to claim the former human territory as their own. And when the humans re-enter their former territory, the raptors make sure to put up a fight, taking out the hunters one by one and making sure that their rivals know that this island is now theirs. And in fact, the raptors aren't necessarily hunting the humans for food, rather they're taking out the competition, ensuring that their former captors know who's boss. The Lost World reinforces the rivalry between man and raptor. However, it doesn't go any further than this. The main reason is because we have no Velociraptor experts. There is no Alan Grant, no Robert Muldoon, or Owen Grady in this movie. Jurassic Park 3. Where The Lost World lacks in narrative development, Jurassic Park 3 shines. And to fully understand the story that Jurassic Park 3 tells with its Velociraptors, you must understand Alan Grant's character arc in the movie, because the two go hand in hand. Alan Grant's arc is essentially this: he loves dinosaurs, or more specifically, Velociraptors. They are what he's passionate about. But because of the experience he had at Jurassic Park, he has convinced himself that those animals on that island were monsters. Throughout the duration of the film, Grant comes to realize these animals for what they are: animals. And this extends to the Velociraptors. When Grant is ambushed alone while studying the Velociraptors' communication skills, he is shocked that they hadn't already killed him. Alan Grant figures out why that didn't happen when Billy reveals that he stole raptor eggs. And those eggs were unknowingly with Grant when the Velociraptors attacked. Grant now realizes that the Velociraptors aren't just trying to kill the group, they're also trying to get back their young, and that's why they didn't kill him when they had the chance. So he decides to keep the Velociraptor eggs as a form of protection, which by the end of the movie we learn is the right call. Going back to the beginning of this film, we learn in the discussion Alan has with Ellie that not only are Velociraptors intelligent, they are also sophisticated communicators, and this is what Grant is interested in. He gives lectures about it, and once he's on the island he said he wouldn't go to, he begins to study the animals he said he wouldn't study. Once on the island, Alan Grant advances his knowledge of the raptors' communication and their intelligence. We learn that his theories about the Velociraptors were indeed correct. Now onto the final scene. First we look at what actions Grant takes. First he realizes the predicament that the group is in and proceeds to give the eggs back to the raptors, in the hopes that they'll spare their lives. He knows a T-Rex won't be there to save him this time. What he does next has major repercussions for the franchise moving forward. In an attempt to bolster the chances of survival, he communicates with the raptors in their own language. Man has communicated with another intelligent being. They might not be as intelligent as man, but the Velociraptors are the second most intelligent beings on this planet. What the Velociraptors do in this scene is just as important as what Grant does. Firstly, they don't kill the characters, they wait until their eggs are safely handed over. But when Grant communicates with them, they are confused. The humans are calling for help. And what they do next is something unimaginable. They spare the lives of these humans. The Velociraptors show mercy. This interaction is the exact turning point in this tumultuous relationship between the two species. If communication can be made with the Velociraptors, and the Velociraptors in return can show mercy, then perhaps this doesn't have to be a rivalry. Perhaps it can be more. What these first three movies set up, and where it will be taken, is encapsulated in two characters with a relationship built on mutual respect. The origins of Owen and Blue. Before we examine Owen and Blue's relationship, first I'll explain the reason for the creation of Blue and the Velociraptor pack. The reason for Blue's creation was never intended for the use of Velociraptors in the military, but rather a proof of concept for the Endoraptor project. Both the Velociraptors and Indominus Rex share this in common. This is confirmed by Hoskins at the end of Jurassic World, when Hoskins says,
"Imagine that one, fraction of the size, a living weapon unlike anything we've ever seen."
The Velociraptors were not intended for military use, rather a stepping stone towards militarized hybrids. Owen and Blue's beginnings are actually first seen in Fallen Kingdom. We learn a little bit about the Raptor pack and what went into their creation. We learn that some traits and behaviors are either bolstered or negated. The reason is to create a raptor with enough empathy, and Blue is the raptor to display this trait the most, giving Owen the best possible shot to create a bond with a Velociraptor. In this scene we actually see that Owen gets the Velociraptors wrong. He uses a word that he will never use again, and that's compliance. Owen misreads the bond that Blue has made with him as compliance, stating that with Blue, you can get these raptors to do anything. However, Owen can be forgiven for this because by the time the events of Jurassic World take place, he changes his tune, explaining to Claire that the bond he shares with the Velociraptors isn't about control, it's about respect. Jurassic World picks up right from where Jurassic Park 3 had left off. We are introduced to Owen talking to the Velociraptors, but Owen doesn't need a flute. He uses the relationship he's built with the raptors to communicate with them. His commanding tone of voice, his hand gestures, and most of all, his position as alpha of the pack. There is something that's missing though, something vital to make this bond truly work, and that's trust. Despite Owen's talk about trust, it's something that he lacks. It's something he fears the Velociraptors lack. Owen's character arc in Jurassic World is about learning to trust the pack, especially Blue. Owen doesn't trust that his raptors can go through a field test. Owen doesn't trust that the raptors can trust him if something goes wrong. Owen doesn't trust his life with these raptors, and for good reason. We have 3 previous movies to prove that, and despite all the genetic modification and training these raptors went through, they are still dangerous animals. They will kill people if given the opportunity, and they will challenge Owen as the alpha if they sense his fear. Because of Owen's distrust in his squad, he doesn't realize what he has. He doesn't realize that these velociraptors, despite being wild, dangerous animals, are loyal to him. Owen is put to the test when Hoskins plans to release the velociraptors to hunt down the Indominus Rex. Owen goes along with the plan to give these men and his raptors the best possible chance at survival. Owen knows that if things go bad, they will. Owen's change towards the raptors begins as soon as he's riding his motorcycle alongside them. He's becoming part of the pack. This is short-lived when the Indominus attempts to seize the top spot as alpha, and things go wrong. It's not that the raptors turned on the humans because of the Indominus, rather when Hoskins lost his cool and ordered to open fire, despite Owen's wishes to wait for his signal. This is foreshadowed earlier on in the movie when the ACU are about to fire a few rounds of electric bolts into the velociraptors. Owen mistakenly believes that he was right all along. He is quick to assume that the velociraptors had turned on him, and now he believes that the Indominus Rex is the new alpha. Owen begins to suspect that these raptors, or at least some of them, hadn't turned on him when he comes across Charlie, in what is a rather tragic scene. Charlie, while eating someone that she's killed, looks at Owen, but not with malicious intent, rather a look of placidness, curiosity, and a wanting for direction. She wants to know what the alpha wants her to do. Unfortunately for Charlie, she is blown up by a rocket launcher that throws Owen to the ground. Blue is never shown to be under the control of the Indominus Rex. She is shown to mistakenly attack Barry, but stops when he shouts her name. Owen gets further confirmation of his suspicions when Delta confronts Hoskins instead of him, despite being closer to her when she entered. When Owen, Claire, and the kids are confronted by Blue and the remaining raptors, Owen must put his suspicions to the test, because his life depends on it. His suspicions are proven to be true, and Owen now realizes that Blue and the Velociraptors had always been loyal to him. They had eliminated those they perceived as a threat and those they had no loyalty to. Blue never respected the Indominus, and now that she knows that Owen trusts her, she will respect him in return and protect him with her life. At the end of the movie, we see Owen and Blue share one more moment together. Blue looks at Owen for approval. Owen shakes his head in disapproval. He now trusts Blue, but he cannot approve of her actions. Actions that put people in danger, and so he sends her on her way, to fend for herself. So Blue, as though she understood, now leaves the nest of her parental figure. Jurassic World shows us that man and a velociraptor can create a bond, a friendship, but in order for there to be a friendship, there must be trust. The relationship between man and a velociraptor gets pushed to its limits in Fallen Kingdom. Owen is avoiding the responsibilities he has with Blue and denying the bond he has with her, believing it to be best for her to get taken out by the volcano. Claire, however, tells him that he's a better man than he thinks he is. After he mulls over video footage of baby Blue, in some consideration, he decides to take action and save Blue from the volcano, and to try to redeem the bond between the two. One theme in Fallen Kingdom is that of denied redemption. Claire and Lockwood want to redeem the wrongs of the past, and Owen likewise wants to redeem his past wrongs. He wants to redeem the bond he had with Blue. Owen regrets that he squandered the bond he had with Blue because of his lack of trust in her. He didn't realize what he had until it was gone. When Owen and Blue meet again, Owen still has trust in Blue. Unfortunately for them both, Ken Wheatley did not wait for Owen's signal, endangering everyone, and not to mention backstabbing Owen. This event nearly kills Blue, and this is when Blue loses her trust in Owen. She hasn't seen him in 4 years, and as soon as he's arrived, things go bad. And because of him, she nearly lost her life. Blue will still protect Owen with her life, as she does so in her battle with the Indoraptor, because she still respects Owen and views him as her parental figure. At the end of the movie, Owen and Blue share a moment together. Owen looks at Blue, promising to keep her safe, promising to make things right. Blue chooses to go her own way. She doesn't need Owen to look after her, and she can no longer trust Owen's ability to keep her safe in this dangerous world of his. She can use her own free will. Owen watches Blue leave, and the ability to make things right along with her. Blue's actions in Fallen Kingdom show that Velociraptors are capable of showing a wide range of emotions, and are capable of their own free will. Owen might have been Blue's alpha, but he can't make decisions for her. During Fallen Kingdom's one time, not once is Owen shown to tell Blue what to do. Blue didn't choose to be taken from her home, but it was Blue that chose to save Owen from the Indoraptor, and it was Blue that chose to part ways from Owen. Owen regrets that he wasted the bond he had with Blue. He regrets not trusting in her, and because of Owen's distrust in his raptors, he didn't realize what he had until it was too late. And now, the opportunity to make things right is gone. Blue still respects Owen. He isn't just the alpha. He's also her parental figure. But her trust in him is now gone. He wasn't able to keep her safe, and trust is something that is hard to earn back. Jurassic World Dominion takes place 4 years after the events of Fallen Kingdom. And despite leaving Owen all those years ago, Blue has been keeping a close eye on him. Due to Blue's parthenogenesis, she has reproduced all on her own, and now she wants to show off her baby Beta to Owen, her parental figure, to get his approval. Unfortunately, the reunion with Owen doesn't go down so well. Owen sees that Blue has put Maisie's life in danger. Owen still recognizes that Blue is a dangerous animal and could hurt Maisie. Because of this, Owen gives Blue the stare of disapproval. Things go from bad to worse when both Maisie and Beta are kidnapped. Blue, feeling once again betrayed by Owen, takes out her frustration on him, and more than likely would have killed him if it wasn't for Maisie being kidnapped, and sensing that Owen is also in distress. For Owen to fix things, he has to bring back Beta and return her home safely to Blue. Otherwise, this delicate relationship built between man and a Velociraptor might fall apart. And besides, Owen did promise after all. Owen indeed does bring Beta back to Blue, saving this delicate relationship between the two species. Blue, with Beta by her side, can now live in peace. As Owen and Blue are about to go their separate ways, Blue once again looks at Owen, her parental figure, with forgiveness and a wanting for his approval. Owen, seeing Blue's little family she has made for herself, one not too dissimilar to his own, is proud of Blue, and gives her the approval she has been looking for all these years. Over the span of these movies, we get to see what started out as a rivalry turn into a friendship. It started with man attempting to have control over nature, attempting to have control over the Velociraptors. And in turn, the Velociraptors' revenge rampage against the humans. The two species began as rivals. But over time, man started to view what he previously saw as monsters as the animals that they truly were. And the Velociraptor's ability to show man mercy changed the course of the rivalry onto what would become a bond built on mutual respect. But it became more than that. It became a friendship built on trust. But trust is hard to earn and hard to keep. And although mistakes are made, it's never too late for redemption. To redeem the wrongs of the past. And with redemption comes forgiveness. With forgiveness of mistakes, a friendship is healed, and the two species, man and Velociraptor, as equals, can now coexist in peace. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Is there anything that I left out? How would you explain the relationship between humans and Velociraptors? Let me know in the comment section below. This is the Dinosaur Man, and I thank you for joining me on this adventure, 65 million years in the making, and I hope to see you again soon.